Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Lon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. Do a quick energy check in for you today. It's not going to be a super long one because I'm getting ready to take my kiddo to the pool because it's hot today. All righty. Let's get into this. What's going on for the collective spirits? Doing four. Okay. Ooh, descent. Descent. Bom, bom, bom. Just kidding. It's actually a really good card. um, saw that one earlier. Okay, what's the fourth one, spirit? Is that in reverse? No. Okay. Yeah. Well, the first thing I'm noticing, honestly, is your energy is actually really balanced. There's a balanced focus on. Oh fuck. Okay. There's a balanced focus on different areas of life, which is a really good thing. Well, it was more than I was planning on. Okay, descent. Let's start here. This card is talking about keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep following the guidance because you're almost there. So it's one of these things like the depiction on the card is miners going through a gold mine and they're looking for little gold nuggets. And the miner up here is like two steps away from striking a gold vein. So instead of just the nugget, it's like a whole vein of gold. So like he's about to strike it big, big. The thing is with this stuck card being right below it. Okay, the stuck card is very yeah. Basically what it is it's okay, hold on. I'm being guided to read it. It's more of like it's one of those things where you're kind of in stasis, but you have the ability to pull yourself out of it. Okay, and then it's also talking about turning to others for help. So, sometimes it's self-talk that is keeping you stuck. So something like something's wrong with me. Oh, I reckon I used to think that one a lot. Um, I'm such a loser. Everyone else is better. Those kinds of thoughts. The internal cycle of judgment leads to shame and exhaustion. Being stuck is like being trapped in a spider web. The web is our unconscious fear of rejection, not deserving, or ending up alone. We can feel lost and lonely in our terminal uniqueness. Fortunately, when we understand that we're like others, in many ways we can become unstuck. The stars might not favor us right now, and we might need extra self-love, patience, and determination, but we can get moving again. Try your best to be teachable. One by one, we can brush away the webs of illusion. After we've spent all our anger, discouragement, and hopelessness on being stuck, we become willing to try something different. Ask others for help, hire a coach, join a recovery group, or get therapy. Have faith in the universe's deep goodness and become willing to truly listen to people's suggestions. With that, be mindful of who you're getting your advice from. If somebody isn't where you want to be, just, take it with a grain of salt, right? If you're asking somebody for directions and they've never been where you're going, um, you know, maybe don't listen to their instructions, right? Like it is what it is. Maybe go get the locals advice on how to get to that location. They might know a back road that's scenic and beautiful and there's a nice little dinner spot overlooking a river or whatever. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing and then just look at that like for big things in life. And also understanding that you can actually learn from everybody. So if somebody isn't where you're trying to get and they give you advice, you can look at it from the lens in what they're actually, suggesting. And is it coming from a place of fear or is it actually, solid advice for you to implement in your life? The thing is here, I feel like the biggest thing that's going to help you with this, with getting unstuck, is changing your perspective, looking at things from a different view, pulling out of tunnel vision, and getting a little more childlike in some of how you're viewing things. Look at things, it's really helpful if you look at it and go, okay, I have a lot of preconceived notions and judgments on this thing because I've been alive for a while. I've gotten, some subconscious programming and had some experiences. What if I've never seen this before? How would I look at it then? What if I didn't have any preconceived notions on this thing? And, of course, use your discernment. I'm not saying to like forget your experience and walk straight into a toxic relationship. Like, just, you know, mentally, I was like, obviously. But, just again, like, be mindful. This is when you're just, you're sitting there and you're just kind of stuck and you've lost kind of that oomph for life. What you can do is you can start looking at things a little bit differently. Look to learn, look to experience, tap back into that childlike curiosity where everything was new and unknown. Tap into that energy and start experiencing life again from a different perspective. And then the other thing here is to get creative. Do something to create. It doesn't have to be some masterpiece that you're going to sell for $1 million. It's just that energy of creativity. And so it's allowing yourself to tap into that, because the thing is creative energy is source energy. So when you're creating, you're tapping into source energy and you're allowing it to flow through you. And when you allow that to flow through you, you can get unstuck really fast. Sometimes it could be through doing something creative that the solution that you need for the thing that you're stuck on comes through, because you're not focused on it. So you let it go, you go color, you go build something. It doesn't, and again, it doesn't have to be something that you show everybody. It's just the act of creating something. And then when you're in that, source energy flows through you. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, aha. I just saw it from a different perspective, and the divine came through with this brilliant idea of how to get my ass unstuck, you know? Okay, then we've got these three over here, which is very interesting. Okay, so we've got surrender. This is talking about really trusting and surrendering to the divine and allowing the divine to handle it. You can take your worries, your fears, and you can bubble it up and say, you know what? Here you go. I don't know what to do with it, so I'm giving it to you. And the universe is like, gladly, I'll gladly take that. I'll transmute that shit. And here's some solutions. Here's some this, here's some that. What we have right behind that is the harvest card. This is literally financial abundance. This is literally you like picking the golden apple. It's literal financial abundance. And it might not be necessarily like money. It could be something different, but it's in earth element. So that is in the physical realm. This is a physical blessing that the divine is attempting to bring to you right now. Part of it's going to be knowing your truth. Maybe it's speaking your truth. So it depends on what it is that you're desiring, what it is that you're manifesting. And when you surrender it to the divine, you are allowing the divine to come through with the guidance or with the actual blessing. So it's either going to be the guidance to get the blessing, or it's going to be the actual blessing itself that, falls into your hands or into your lap. Huh? Um, and then we've got the wisdom card. This is understanding that you know what is best for you. You know what it's knowing your own truth. And then it's also standing on it when need be and speaking your truth in a very, assured way. And sometimes it's shaky at first, especially depending on what it is you're speaking your truth about. If it's something that goes against the mainstream narrative, you can be a little shaky, when you're like, oh, actually, this, that, and the other. You can be a little shaky, but say it anyways, and I'm getting here that there is something for some of you that you are being guided to speak about, and it's a very deep truth. And it's gonna be liberating when you allow yourself to speak this. So there is that communication energy that is coming through here. So for some of you, you are being guided to communicate, and that alone, I'm being told for some of you, is going to completely get you unstuck. So if you're being guided to communicate about a certain thing to a certain person, maybe it's even, being a content creator and speaking your truth in that kind of way, or writing a book, or whatever it is. There's something here that is liberating that's going to help pull you out of this stuck energy when you finally allow yourself to speak about what you've been holding on to. So whatever that is for you, it's also connected to your abundance. So expressing this truth and getting it off your chest in whatever way that is, it's gonna help your abundance as well. So it's interconnected. There's something about this at this point that's interconnected. And so that's where it's like surrendering all those fears, surrendering the worries, and just being like, you know what? I wouldn't be being guided to do this right now if it wasn't for a greater purpose, if it wasn't for an expanded reason. This is literally the divine coming through to assist you from going to searching for gold to all of a sudden receiving the gold. And whatever that is for you, for some of you, it's going to be physical finances, and up level in money, in resources, in abundance. For others of you, it's other things too. It's like soul purpose. Maybe it's a divine love. Maybe it's, just experiencing like peace or freedom, those kinds of things. But the divine is like, you're so close, you're right here. This is in your energy. Just surrender, shift your perspective, tap into that creative energy, and speak your truth in whatever way that you're being called to speak your truth in right now, because that's what's going to directly help you shift into this version of reality that you are really desiring right now. Okay, give me just a second. Okay, so I was guided to pull this deck. And then when I was grabbing it, I was thinking about the pool. Um, and I was thinking about it. So I'm the type of adult at the pool that's like, most of the time I'm putting on goggles and I'm playing in the water with the kids. I'm not the one sitting on the side sunbathing. I'm not judging. It's just that's just who I am, right? I'm like, if there's water, I'm in the water. um so, and I'm playing, and we're doing all the things. I'm doing the handstands with goggles on, looking like a dork, but we're having fun, right? Playing with the kids. And there's also that sense of inner child play that's really actually why I was, being guided to think about it for this reading here. With this perspective card, this is also letting your inner child out to play. So it's just like that. Like, do I get weird looks when I'm doing handstands with my daughter? Sometimes. Do I, is there people judging me? Probably. Am I noticing it? No. I'll catch a glance here and there, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm going down the water slides or whatever, and it's one of those like, allow yourself to pull out of that energy of like, how are other people going to view me? Am I going to look like this? Am I going to look like that? Pull back into that childlike energy. Did you give two shits when you were at the pool, when you were a kid, on what other people thought about you playing and doing flips in the water and, whatever? Did you really care? No, you were in the moment, you were having fun, you were at the pool, super, super cool. And if not, like, if that's not, something you did as a child, think about other things that you did, did you care if other people were judging you for being silly or playing? Like, most of the time, you're in the moment and you're enjoying where you're at, and you're having fun and you're exploring and you're learning things and you're, having fun. Get into that energy, even if it's just here and there. That is going to allow that energy to move. It's going to help you also tap into your creative energy, and that's also going to help you get unstuck. So it can be those little things like that where you're just like, you know what? It's life. I'm going to have fun with it. And then, it can be something very minimal, you know, watch a butterfly fly around or watch the clouds in the sky, see if you can find some shapes in the sky. Like those little things where you're in that childlike wonder, that can really open you up to also receiving guidance about what is the next move for you. And then it also taps you into that energy of just childlike wonder and play and just, living life. Like you came here to live life. Remember that. So live, have fun in the moment. Let those stresses and those worries go and just allow yourself to live. And that's going to help change some of this stuff energy as well. Okay, we've got speak your mind. Okay, so there's definitely something here with that communication energy. And that's the thing here. The suggested advice for you right now is to surrender those fears and those worries to the divine. Speak your truth. We got double confirmation on that one. And that is going to get you this harvest that you are desiring. And so that's really the recommended advice here is to speak your mind. There's also like the dandelions and they're blowing a wish. So for some of you, what this is entailing is when you speak your truth and you know what you're being called to speak about and who you're being called to speak to and everything else. When you allow yourself to speak your truth, you are going to get wishes granted from the divine. So allow yourself to do that. Get grounded, stay centered. That's also that being in the present moment. Um, okay. So we've got tears of joy and sadness, and I'm being called to read that one. Um, okay. We'll get there. Okay. It says life is rarely simple. There's no such thing as completely good or bad. Even the best outcomes may come with a price, and even the worst disasters can often have a silver lining. Loss and grief show us the value of what we had and how lucky we were to have it. The toughest challenges give us the opportunity to rise above. That doesn't mean the hard stuff isn't hard. Of course it is. If you can find the positive side of even the worst events, it will help you stay strong and keep moving forward. Maybe you can even inspire others who are dealing with their own difficulties to keep moving forward too. Okay, so it's talking about allowing yourself to feel the emotions that you're feeling and do your best not to get stuck in it with the stuck card. And so I am getting like some grief, um for some of you this is a past situation that is I'm sure that came back to haunt you. The thing is, it's not coming back to haunt you. It's coming back up into your awareness because you're being asked to do something with it. And it's going to vary for each of you. For some of you, this is that like counterpart thread of energy that's been coming through. So it is that situation coming back up because you're being given a fresh start with this person if you allow yourself to take those steps. For others of you, this could be something in the past that you're just like really kind of stuck on and you're not fully able to like pull yourself into the present moment because you're stuck on this past thing that happened. Allow yourself to feel what it is that is coming up for you. And then do your best to look at it and be like, what did I learn from it? What did that teach me? Because when those types of situations come up and they're really in the forefront in the awareness, it's for a reason. It's so that you can look at it, process it, heal, and integrate it. It's because you have a second chance with it. It's because it's coming back around in a new version for you to have a different opportunity with that thing or person or whatever it is. So allow yourself to process what you're feeling and also know that it's coming back up for a reason. And it's always for you. It's never to you. It's never just to torment you. So remember that. Um, okay, and then affirmation for growth. Okay, I'm being guided to read this one as well. What's really coming through here is like this harvest energy of you're really shifting into this, um, you're really shifting into this energy where It's like you're gonna see some beautiful manifestations come to pass very, very soon. So just know that. Growth is necessary for life. The opposite of growth is stagnation, and no one wants to be stuck sitting still and never moving forward. Growth takes effort, and sometimes it can be scary. It doesn't happen by itself. You have to nurture and feed it, whether it is body, spirit, or some part of your life, like a career or a relationship. What do you want to grow and prosper in your life, and what are you doing to make that happen? The guided action is to take an action that will help some aspect of your life grow in a positive way, or reach out and help someone else to grow, like a child who needs guidance or a friend who could use a helping hand. Do something to nurture the earth or tend to a garden, whether it's outside or inside on a windowsill. This card is telling you it's time to stop standing still. Is there a project you have been working on? Maybe look at giving it more energy or attention, or look at your life and see if it is moving forward in the ways you would like it to. If not, what can you do to change that? Are your relationships growing and blooming? How can you nurture them so that they do? This card reminds you all growth must be nurtured and encouraged. Ooh, yeah, that's enough said. I mean, I really don't feel like I have much to add on that. So it's really about taking some action in the directions in life where you are feeling stuck. And sometimes what helps is I always do shit weird, but sometimes what helps is if you're really stuck in this area of life, if you focus on another area of life that you want to grow and you feel more like able to do something about right now, focus on that. But it's not ignoring this other aspect. It's allowing yourself to focus on a different area of life temporarily until you get the guidance on what to do and on this other area of life that you're really wanting to change. And so it just kind of depends. For some of you, yeah, I'm really getting that energy of like when you allow yourself to speak about whatever this is going to relieve you of so much heavy energy that alone is going to help you fully shift your energy in a really positive beneficial way. So what's really kind of coming through honestly is the recommended next step for you is to communicate. um and whatever this is, if you're being called to write a book, start writing the book. If you're being called to reach out to somebody, reach out to them. If you're being called to start a podcast or whatever it is where you're speaking your truth, start taking action steps on that, even if it's little. It doesn't have to be huge. It's just that one step and then another step and then another step and then another step. Write 2 sentences on your book a day. That's still progress. And then you'll get into that flow state and then boom, you'll knock out 3 chapters. It's that energy. And so it's one of those just getting yourself moving is really going to be what actually assists you in making these big changes and really shifting these areas of life that you're wanting to shift. And so it's those little action steps every day that get us closer and closer. And then we're actually making that progress, and then you can feel good about yourself because you did something about it. You started that thing. You opened up a line of communication. You reached out to that person and said what was weighing heavy on your chest, and now it's not heavy anymore. Now you can do something about it except for sit there in that stuck energy and just ruminate. It's really about taking some action steps towards what it is that you're desiring. And it's interesting, so I was gonna say, like, if you don't know, I was getting ready to start going on this tangent of like, if you don't know the next steps to take, and then I was literally cut off. And what that's telling me is consciously what next step you are being called to take. For a lot of you, I feel like this is a really big step. And so there's a lot of fear and anxiety and worry. And that's where this surrender energy is coming in, is like, give that to the divine. Let that go and allow yourself to just pull into yourself, ground your energy and pull into the now moment and allow yourself to take that action step while surrendering the fears and everything to the divine and just like, okay, this is the guidance. It's scary as hell, but I'm going to do it because it's my next step into the life that I want to live. So it's really, it's really riding on you speaking your truth. There's communication energy here like crazy. And it's one of these things like you aren't fully realizing the effect that this is going to have. Um, okay, being guided to use this as an example. So I had to renew my passport. Fucking mundane tasks, you know. Anyways, I had to renew my passport and I was my grandpa's like really on it. And so we all got our passports at the same time. And then he was like, "Hey, our passports are expiring this year." And I was like, "Oh shit, dude. Good thing you're paying attention because I wouldn't have realized it until I was trying to go out of the country." Like, Anyways, um but he's like, "You need to renew it. You need to renew it." And he reminded me a few times. And then I put it on my little list, which is funny because I actually have it on a list right here on my desk. I put it on my list and I made it into such a big thing. And I was like, "Oh, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it." And then I went and got my picture taken. And then I was just like, "I just don't want to do it. I just don't feel like doing it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow." Well, today was the day that it expired. And so yesterday I put a reminder on my phone a couple months ago of like renew passport because it's like gonna expire today. And so it popped up and I was like, fuck, I have to do it. And so it was like 9:30 at night last night. I did not want to do it. And I was like, oh, screw it. Maybe I'll just wait and then because if you don't renew it, then you have to like send in all this shit and it takes longer and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, just do it. And I literally got online, scanned in my picture, and it took me less than 10 minutes. And then it was done. And I was just like, I feel accomplished. Oh shit. Like I got a boost of energy because this fucking thing that took me 10 minutes was looming over me for like 3 months. And so it's one of those things like, that's the kind of energy that's going to happen when you allow yourself to speak your truth on whatever this is. When you get it off your chest, you're going to feel that sense of relief like, oh, I made it into such a big thing in my head, and I gave myself all the fear and all the worries and all the anxiety, and I was stressed about it for however long, and I was overthinking it every single day. And then you allow yourself to just do it, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting this energy where it goes way better than you expected. And then it's like, not only do you feel relief, there's like excitement in it because what you are worried about, all of those fears and all of those worries are turning it into this big thing that it's actually not. And so that's part of what's keeping you stuck is holding this communication back, whatever it is. And so that's another aspect here of like just allowing yourself to just do it and just pull out of your head, surrender those fears and those worries, and just do it. And then all of a sudden, it's like this relief is going to wash over you. And then all of those fears and the anxiety and worry are just going to lift. And then you're going to be like, oh, not only am I relieved, now I'm excited. So it's like the divine's pushing you to really do this right now because not only is it gonna feel like a relief? There's also something here where it's gonna spark this internal excitement and passion. Maybe it's also gonna help spark your creativity in a different way. And there could also be something here where it's like this perspective will shift instantaneously after you allow yourself to get this communication energy flowing. It's like it's really feeling like blocked communication energy is the big hurdle that you're dealing with right now. And that is what is going to allow you to just fully just shift into this different energy where you're like, okay. And then I'm getting like this energy of like things are going to become clear. Certain things are going to make sense. Like it's like a fog is just going to fully lift. And so it's going to be like relief, mental fog lifting, and then this internal fire and excitement. is just like waiting to be ignited, but it has to be ignited by you speaking your truth. And then that way, once that's ignited and once your energy shifts, this is what the divine is waiting for from you right now. Because once you shift that energy, it's like boom, 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 wish after wish after wish. Like the divine's like, oh, come on, you got to do this. You got to do this thing, do this thing, do this thing, communicate, communicate, write the book, whatever it is, right? Do the thing, because when you do the thing, it's going to shift your internal state of being in such a way that the divine's like, yes, that's what we needed. We needed you to be in this energy. And now look at what we've got for you. Boom, boom, boom. Like all of this beautiful, amazing, positive energy is just getting ready to flood into your life. Because the stuck card, the other thing too, this is a conscience thing. And that's where the stuck energy can be really difficult because it's consciously not looking at this thing and not doing this thing. And that's what's keeping you stuck. When you allow yourself to look at the thing and do the thing, then it shifts your energy to a point where now the divine can align with, like, it's ultimately what is happening is you doing this shifts your internal state of being to a place where now you are aligned with these other wishes that you are desiring. And so it's the divine coming through and saying, "Hey, if you do this one thing, we know, like the divine knows that you're going to shift your energy in such a way that now you're in alignment with all of these other things that you've been desiring that feel so far away right now. They're not as far away from you as you think they are. You feel like they are because you're in this stuck energy a little bit. But what you don't see is when you allow yourself to do whatever this is that you're being guided to do, it's taking this next step that's using your communication energy. When you do that, it shifts your entire internal state of being. And then that puts you in alignment with all of these other things that you thought might take 5 years, 10 years, whatever. All of a sudden, it's coming to you in under a year. You know, it's that kind of thing. You're in the brink of this massive energetic shift, and it's really relying on you surrendering those fears and those worries and really speaking your truth and knowing your truth. And I feel like at this point you actually do know your truth. Now it's time to speak about it. So, and then reap your harvest. Like that's what the divine is telling you right now. Like we're waiting for you to communicate about this thing or in this way, whatever it is for you. I'm not being given a lot of details, probably because, it's collective. So I'm not getting a lot of details. It's just there's something here where you're being asked to communicate. And when you allow yourself to do that, the divine is waiting with all of this harvest energy. And this is physical realm stuff. This is opportunities, finances, like actual tangible abundance. But it's waiting for you to make this decision because it's also partly that internal state of being that's going to shift for you. And so it's one of those things like, go renew your passport. That kind of energy. Go speak your truth. It's that. And when you allow yourself to do so, you're going to just internally shift in such a way that is so beautiful and so abundant and creative and really get that spark back for life and enjoy and bring that inner child out to play and have fun and do those kinds of things. So, yes. Alrighty dokie. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Yes, wishing you all the best. And you got this. You got some beautiful things coming in. You really, really do. Alrighty dokie. Well, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. And if this resonates, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about it. And if you'd like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. I will see you on the next message. Bye.